we got sleet, we got snow, we got a little bit of everything. So just like back in Wisconsin where I'm from, you just never know what you're gonna get till you get to about mid-May. Hi everyone. Despite the cooler than normal temperatures, it has warmed up over the last week or so, but all of April was pretty cold. Our strawberries are coming to life, perking up. Obviously we're not anywhere near to getting flowers or berries yet, but they survived the winter and they're coming back. This is just parsley and a few salad greens. We have summer garlic in one of these boxes. I think it's this one. And we usually do what's called winter garlic, where we plant the garlic in the fall and it comes up in the spring. We didn't do that last year. I'm not sure why, but we did plant garlic here this spring, which is why we call it summer garlic. This is onions. We got a few open boxes there, maybe some beets down there, but this is all onions and carrots. This is peas. We actually do have a few peas popping up already, so that's a good sign. This is waiting for other things. It's just prepared. A few extra onions. And the currant bushes are coming along nicely, already getting blossoms. And this is that, I always forget the name of this thing, but it's actually related to a honeysuckle. But they're really sour berries, very healthy. We've got a second box of strawberries here. Everything survived the winter. Everything's coming back. Those were just planted last fall, by the way. Still getting asparagus. We're eating a few each day. They'll really start to pick up here in the next week or so before they taper off. But I know a lot of people do not like asparagus, but we happen to like it. So we've got a long bed of them. We're enjoying that. All of our high bush blueberries or shalogus starting to blossom, or at least get the leaves. That's a good sign. We did put in some fresh turf this year. That some of that blows away over the winter. A little more parsley, I think oregano, a few other odds and ends, chives, sorrel. And then here in the greenhouse we have, or my wife has already planted quite a few tomatoes and peppers. We do have a couple of indoor cucumbers here. Still have a lot to move in. You can see these are all still in the pots. Need to get them planted. And we do have salad greens and radishes. We've been eating the radishes and the salads already, so things are shaping up. This should look a lot different here in the next week or so once all the plants are in. As I keep mentioning, we have had some pretty cool nights. I haven't had to put a heater out here yet. It's been real close, but we do keep a thermometer in here. Right now it says plus 25, which is, I don't know, 70 in Fahrenheit. So plenty warm in there for now, but the mornings are pretty cold. And for all my friends back in the USA who've been complaining about the high gas prices back there, here's some perspective for you. This is from actually this morning, so very recent. In the background picture you can see that 1 liter of unleaded 95 is €1.89. And then you can see I've got some little math here. 1 liter is obviously 1.89 euros. 1 euro is equal to $1.17 US dollars. So therefore 1 liter costs 2.2113 US dollars. 1 gallon contains 3.8 liters. Therefore 1 gallon of gasoline here in Lithuania costs $8.40 US dollars. So hopefully that makes you feel a little bit better. It doesn't make me feel any better, but just some information for you. Hi everyone. Friday, May 8th. Beautiful day. A few clouds, but mostly sunny right now. Thanks for clicking on the video. And also wanted to say thank you to everyone that watched my last video. It was a pleasant surprise to see how many views I got. I think last I checked it was over 250 views, which is always something that makes me feel good. As I always say though, I don't do these videos, or I don't do this channel for views. I just do it because I enjoy it. But I guess if I was just interested in views, I should keep making videos about solar panels and power stations and ATVs, because that seems to be where I get the most views. In fact, my ATV video from, I don't know, a few months ago, I think that thing's over 5,000 views. But again, I don't do it for the views, but thank you for clicking on it nonetheless. Weather is always a topic I like to talk about. Beautiful day today, a little chilly. But April was basically it was a strange month. I mean, it wasn't bad. We had a lot of sunshine, a lot of clear blue skies, but we just never really had a warm up. Most days were, you know, +5, +6 in Celsius. A few days we struggled to even get above, you know, +2, +3. As shown in a separate clip in this video, we had snow showers as recently as I think 9 or 10 days ago. So no complaints. You know, it was nice, very dry in April. We finally did get some much needed rain about, I think it was 2 days ago. So that's a big help. Filled up some of the rain jugs, but you can see I got a little checklist here, a few things I want to talk about. But not only because of the kind of cool April, but the hard winter we had, there's a lot of things that are running behind. You know, things like tulips and asparagus and some other things are at least a week, I'd say 2 weeks later than normal, and that's just because the ground was so cold from the heavy frost this winter, and of course the lack of heat in April. I did hear my first cuckoo bird, which is a big deal here in Lithuania, on May 3rd, which is about right on track to when you normally hear them. I will do a separate clip. I don't know if it'll be before this one or after this one. More thorough review of what's going on in the greenhouse and the garden. A lot going on there lately. I also did want to briefly talk about you know, some things that some of you may know and others may not. Last weekend was Mother's Day here in Lithuania. In the USA, it's, I think, this coming weekend, but there's a lot of holidays that are different here in Europe or Lithuania when compared to the USA. Obviously, there's other holidays that don't exist at all. You know, obviously in America, there's 4th of July, there's Thanksgiving Day, which we don't really have here in Lithuania. They do have a couple Independence Days here in Lithuania, and that's what happens when you're a small country in Eastern Europe that happens to get invaded every 50 years or so. You're going to have more than one Independence Day to mark your freedom from occupation, but it's a whole different story. Daylight savings time. A lot of people don't know that we do have, same thing as in the US, we have daylight savings time here in Lithuania, but we don't do it on the same weekend. I think it's a week or two earlier or possibly later. The other thing, you know, and along that theme, that's why I seem so confused all the time. Sometimes I'm forgetting holidays or I miss them in the US. I can't keep track of what is what. But the other thing that causes me some confusion is just because I'm still an American. All of my savings, or most of my savings, and my income is in US dollars. But of course, living here in Lithuania, all of my expenses are in euros. So I'm constantly translating what something costs or how many dollars I need to pay for things in euros here in Europe. So I won't go on and on about that, but a lot of recalculation that has to go on in my brain. By the way, this is a really nice area that I like to come to. I don't come here very often, but it is a nice area. You can see it's kind of a lower. There's a small river that runs through there. This is like a dike or something they built, who knows when, but a lot of birch trees. I've never seen so many burls on trees, if you know what that is. It's just a deformity that happens on trees, and I can't see one right now, but if we walk long enough, you'll see them. I've never seen so many burls on trees in one area as here. Over here, there is a beaver dam. You can see the water's kind of backed up if you walk in there. You'll eventually find a beaver dam. Beyond that, more to come. Thanks. Hi guys. If you haven't seen past videos, I have a terraced area, or some people call it a three-season room. All these glass doors slide open in case it gets warm, but this is Lithuania. Generally, it's very nice in the spring and fall when the outside temperature is kind of cool, but it's very warm in this terrace. Unfortunately, the drawback is it's an awful lot of glass to clean, and I go through it, every piece of glass, a couple times a year, usually 2, sometimes 3. And as it's been so dry lately, I figured I would get out on the ATV and go to some places that are usually pretty muddy and I try to avoid. This particular road is what I affectionately call the sketchy road in some of my past videos. It's not too far from my house, and basically it's just a path that cuts across this brushy field. And people use it as a shortcut. Mainly people just walking or on bicycles, but some of the more adventurous people, I've seen SUVs out here, even a few cars try to get through. Some of them get stuck or bottomed out. But and by the way, all of these cleared areas on either side of the road are available for purchase. It's just land you can buy to put a house on. There's city water out here, electricity, etc. And lo and behold, somebody has hauled out a bunch of crushed rock, and it looks like they're going to try to repair the road a little bit, make it a little bit better. And off to the right is a little, I guess you'd call it a park. It's not really a campground. It's kind of a nice little area that goes along the river. And up here on the left is some houses that really weren't even there about 5 years ago. They're just kind of freshly built, got a little community going. And then we reached the little bridge that crosses the river that goes right by my house. And then it kind of makes a loop that goes kind of back down towards the river, and really through some sketchy areas that are usually really muddy. And here's where things get a little more murky, so to speak. You can see it's still quite muddy, even though it's been really dry, so you can imagine what this looks like when we do get a lot of rain. Obviously, I'm not the first and only person to go through here. You know, other youngsters go through on their ATVs, and a few farmers go through in small tractors. And you guys might be thinking, well, be a little more adventurous. You've got all-wheel drive on that ATV, which is true, but I really don't want to get all that muddy, so I try to avoid the mud when I can. You'll notice I don't even put it in four-wheel drive. And once you make it through all the mud holes, it takes a left and heads kind of back out towards the sketchy road. There is a bit of higher elevation here. I don't know if you can really tell from the camera, but it's a lot higher ground than most areas. There's some really nice nut trees on this hill, a lot of nice hardwood trees, but beautiful area. And once we get out to the sketchy road, it's back home. Thanks for watching, everyone.